#NFL.
As far as any of the ridiculous allegations out there, I'm not going to spend more than one sentence in response to it, and that is that I resent any of those accusations because they're patently false. And it's interesting the amount of power that people think that I have, which I don't. But I love Robert, and it was one of those days yesterday.
You guys are all going to be wondering who's going to be the quarterback. Spencer Rattler will be the quarterback. We talked a lot as a staff about what we felt like was the best thing for us and give us the best chance to win the game. That was the decision that we made, and we're excited about him getting an opportunity to go in there, and we'll let him go play and see what he can do.
We're getting the starting quarterback for.
Yes, sir. Aiden O'Connell. I mean, it was a quarterback battle early on. Aiden started 5 games, and at this point, I think it's best to go with Aiden going forward.
Never forget, PK, sports is entertainment. Entertainers are celebrities, and quarterbacks are the biggest celebrities we have. It's all quarterbacks this morning. Did the quarterback get the coach fired? Who starts while the quarterback is hurt? Who starts when the quarterback isn't performing? Quarterback.
Yeah, it's funny how Aaron Rodgers always seems to be in the middle of something. He can't help it. And the other two, I don't know that it really makes much of a difference there on what their teams are going to be able to do as far as success on the field.
Feels like they're doomed, so rearrange the deck chairs. And it's why Overreaction Monday is so hilarious. The Panthers, the Cowboys just got shredded by the Saints. Saints had 91 points after 2 weeks. They were 2-0, and they've lost 3 straight, and now the quarterback's hurt. And so it was all a mirage. We got football tonight. Seattle, 3-2. Atop the NFC West. Is it a mirage? San Francisco, so many injuries, but they're 2-3. They're lurking right there. We've had plenty of teams that have played 500 ball for the first 6, 8, 10 weeks of the season, whatever, and then gotten hot. So the Niners, they're lurking. They win a game like this. They're tied for first place in the division. They're not great. They don't look like Super Bowl contenders, but they don't have to look like Super Bowl contenders right now. They just have to get healthy.
Well, I don't see any big dominant teams in the NFC West, East, North, South, Midwest, South Central. So somebody's got to do that. I mean, are they going to, outside of McCaffrey, who do they have that's really that big of a deal that's hurt?
McCaffrey's the biggest injury. Yeah. They've had other guys get dinged up, but McCaffrey's clearly the biggest injury.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guys are, and I don't care who the other guys are.
DJ and PK.
#college football.
Thursday night used to be a huge game for college football. We saw our local teams play some big Thursday night games, but the NFL has taken over. Coastal Carolina, James Madison, Middle Tennessee, Louisiana Tech, UTEP, Western Kentucky. There's your lineup. I guess you can ignore college football tonight. It'll be big tomorrow night, though. The Utes play the Devils in the desert tomorrow night. So
there's no way I'm ignoring James Madison, man. They are really good. You can ignore them. Ignore them at your own peril.
Okay, I will ignore them at my own peril. DJ and PK.
#Major League Baseball.
Peralta, the former Yankee, kicks and fires. Lux attacks the first pitch, drives the ball right field and deep. Tatis at the wall. It's out of here! Gavin Lux ambushes Wandy Peralta. Tack 2 more on the board. It's now 8-0 Dodgers. Gavin Lux with his first home run of the postseason. An absolute bullet over the wall in right field. The insurance runs that they have been hunting, they get in loud fashion.
Now the pitch, swinging a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall. It's gone. It's gone. Francisco Lindor. He may have just outdone himself. He has hit a grand slam into the Phillies bullpen in right center field. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-1. They were famished for the big hit all night, and Francisco Lindor just provided a feast. Mets 4, Phillies 1 here in the 6th inning.
Swung on, a high fly to left. Back goes Melendez on the track. He's at the wall, and she's gone. A Stantonian home run. He drove a high fly deep left into the Yankee bullpen to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead.
4 playoff games, plenty of drama. We've got a Game 5 coming up in the Dodger-Padres series. The Dodger bullpen game produces a shutout. The Dodger bats are hot early. Mookie Betts gets them started with a homer in the first, 8-0 the final. So that series now 2-2, and they will play a Game 5 in L.A. to decide who goes to play the Mets. Surprised by that? Dylan Cease, 3 days rest. That didn't work. He got blasted.
You got 7, 8 guys, I think, pitch for the Dodgers, and the fact that they shut them out, yeah, I was surprised by that. If I'm the Padres, thinking Dodgers score like about 7 more runs, the law of numbers will catch up to you. I mean, they got the numbers 7 and 8 batters going 2 for 4 each. How many times is that going to happen? So, it's a singular game there. Away they go. You'll see what happens, obviously, in Game 5. And then Lindor is a true superstar. There's no doubt about it for the Mets, man.
Grand slam in the 6th inning to win the game 4-1. Although there was plenty of drama in the 9th. Edwin Diaz walking the first 2 batters, 2 on, nobody out, tying run at the plate. But gets the next 3 guys, gets out of there. Schwarber had a chance to be the hero, but didn't work out, and the Phillies are done, and the Mets are moving on. Over in the American League, the Tigers are up 2-1 after shutting out the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland hasn't won a World Series since 1947, the longest drought in Major League Baseball. They're now 1 game away from elimination, 10 wins away from the elusive title.
Well, is it the longest drought if you've never won one, or you never won one since 47?
Well, I think you got to go with the years you were competing. I don't think you can hold teams up for the years they were competing. But you could go to the never ones like the Padres and the Brewers and the Rockies and whoever else I'm leaving out, the Rays, I guess.
So all those years of 100 losses, they were competing?
No, you get to hold those against them.
Okay.
They should have been competing. They were competing very poorly. Yankees over the Royals 3-2. The Yankees are up 2-1 and can advance to the American League Championship Series with a Game 4 win. They play in Detroit at 4 o'clock today and 6 o'clock for the game in Kansas City.
The Tigers did the same thing with the bullpen spiel, and I think that's why they're looking at changing that you've got to go, 5 innings or whatever it was, or 4 earned runs or something, so you can't do that. And it'll be interesting to see if they change that rule so we eliminate these types of games here that we see even in the postseason.
I wonder if that'll push this discussion along. You got to leave somebody out there to give up 4 runs, unless they can get through 5.
Yeah.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz continue the preseason tonight. They're playing the Mavericks in Dallas at 6 o'clock. The Jazz have won their first 2 preseason games against the New Zealand Breakers and the Houston Rockets. We were looking this up in a commercial break a few days ago, PK. The preseason had really been whittled down, and we liked it. But it's getting longer again. And they had a 4-game preseason. They had some really short stuff, and now they're going to play 6 preseason games this year. So this is the 3rd of the 6.
Some might argue that they'll play 82.
Oh, I see what you did there. Nice. Mavericks don't have former Jazzman Dante Exum surgery Tuesday to repair an injured wrist. He's expected to be out 3 months. Jazz, 6 o'clock tonight. You'll hear it on 97.5 The Zone. DJ and PK.
Hashtag BYU.
BYU held the blue and white scrimmage. It was apparently about half full, PK. Tons of hype. Lots of fans showing up. The freshmen got their first taste of what it's going to be like. Super high expectations. Tons of energy. This was just a scrimmage, but hey, they were out there, and they got a little feel for it.
It's a big season for them, man. Lots of hype. They've never had this much hype in the history of the program. I wouldn't think so. Not since I've been here, certainly.
Right.
And all these guys here with these freshmen, all these folks that he brought in, Kevin Young, I'm speaking of. And this is a major recruiting weekend. They got the top 47 prospects in the country, I think, are going to be at the football game or something. This is just huge, man. I think he can reel in at least 40 of them.
40. There's plenty of time for everybody. This shot's for everybody. Don't worry about it. And 30 of you will all be first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
No other school will produce any.
Well, I'm curious to see what they got and how good they can come together as quickly as it's going to need to be. You know, not necessarily right off the bat. If they get off to a slow start, I wouldn't be in any form of panic mode because they have enough strength of schedule. Once the league starts, you don't have to worry about that. And, you know, you always hear you want to be playing your best ball in late February, March. And that might be the case for these guys since they're all so new. They do have a few holdovers, obviously. But the majority of the star power looks like it's from the new players, and I think they'll need some time. I don't think you just roll out the ball and away you go. See how they progress during the course of the season and get themselves ready for NCAA tournament. Because obviously, if they're not in the tournament, and maybe we can even go if they're not having success in the tournament, then it's a disappointment. Which is one of the few times you can say that about BYU basketball.
I don't know how slow they can start. I mean, they scheduled themselves 5 wins for sure right out of the gate.
Well, I think that, I'm not really concerned about that. I'm talking about
starting in league in January.
Yeah. So I don't even know who they play. I'm not a schedule guy. Those basketball for college basketball, unless you're in one of these big tournaments, which I heard they're going to be in the Maui next year. We'll see who's on the team next year. That it's really what you do starting in January with your league and all that stuff, unless you have some bad losses.
It's a little less than a month to the first regular season game. They'll have some preseason games and all that. But all right, DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
The Utah Hockey Club begins a 4-game road trip tonight. They are in New York for the next 3. It starts with the Islanders tonight at 5:30. Great to ride all that emotion at home. Now go out on the road. It's a different deal. Reality sets in. The grind begins. What will they do? Islanders were a playoff team a year ago. Not a good playoff team and out pretty quick, but they made the postseason, so good enough test tonight, 5:30. You'll hear the game on 1280 The Zone. DJ and PK.
Hashtag golf.
While the Utah Hockey Club plays its first road game, the Utah golf fans get the PGA Tour for the first time since 1963. Black Desert Championship beginning today in St. George. PK, you're already there. I'll be there later tonight. We'll be broadcasting live tomorrow morning. This is it. Finally, the PGA Tour is back, baby.
Yeah, this is something that they've been talking about for a long time here, and they got it, and here we are. It starts today, and it's an exciting time, no doubt about it, man. I mean, this is not something that happens all the time. We'll see. Maybe it will happen all the time starting going forward from today. But I think everybody is curious to see how it's going to play out. What are the guys going to say after they get out there and play it for real? I mean, they've been there this week and practicing and all that stuff. And now it's on. If it's something that, you wondered why, if they can have a tournament in some of these other places, why they couldn't have it in Utah. Then, with that in mind, we all figured, okay, then it's going to be somewhere in the metro area, not down in St. George, but nevertheless, that's where it is.
How much wind will there be? Because the wind will bring the lava into play. We're used to seeing these guys scramble, right? We've seen guys try crazy shots from crazy places, but you can't play it off the lava.
No, you can't. So you got to figure out where to go. But I mean, they've been out there. They've seen it a little bit. I think they'll be fine on that.
All right, listen, all day today and through the weekend, we'll have coverage here on The Zone as the PGA Tour returns to Utah for the first time since the 1963 Utah Open at the Salt Lake Country Club. It has been a while, but they're back. And that is what is trending. Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, Barry Trammell joins us at 8 o'clock. We talk Big 12 football, look ahead to a big weekend. And at 9 o'clock, Arizona State Athletic Director Graham Rossini. An intriguing look at where he thinks college athletics is headed. We'll talk with him at 9 o'clock. DJ and PK, the question of the day, is coming up next.